Most people are using Claude only at 10% of its power. Not because it's complicated, but because nobody showed them what the other 90% looks like. There are hidden commands, shortcuts, and hacks that I guarantee will make your life so much easier while also blowing your mind. Some of these hacks work in the browser and some work in Claude Code in your terminal, but all of them should be in your workflow today. So in today's video, we'll be looking at 15 different hacks that will make your life so much more easier using Claude. Let's go. The first hack is using screenshots. Say you have a bug while you are creating your vibe-coded app, or you're getting an error using a different app that you don't really understand. Pre-AI, we would either copy-paste the bug into Google or describe it in some way to find a solution. But post-AI, a lot of people still end up doing the same. The trick is to not type, but take a screenshot. Simply drag and drop the screenshot into Claude, and it has the ability to look at your screenshots and understand context within the image, making typing completely unnecessary. But here's my favorite part. If you open the Claude app and just press Option twice on Mac or Control-Alt-Space on Windows, you can instantly take a screenshot that doesn't get saved on your system but shows up on a new Claude chat. And now you can directly talk to it. What I generally do is that I enable the incognito mode for such tasks so that one random debugging chat does not clutter my chat history. Half the people who come to Claude with a problem are spending 2 minutes describing something that a screenshot would show in 2 seconds. This works in Claude, on the web, on mobile, and even Claude Code, pretty much everywhere. It's the fastest upgrade on this list for anyone who hasn't already been doing it. Hack number 2, projects and the system prompt. A lot of people use each chat in Claude or ChatGPT as an isolated interaction, meaning each time you open a new chat, you again describe what you do or what you want to solve. The key is to use things called projects. This works on both Claude and ChatGPT. Go to Claude.ai, create a project either on your business or a recurring kind of work or a side project, anything that you keep coming back to over time. Drop in any relevant documents or reference material, a sample of how you write, your company context, whatever Claude needs to know to help you with recurring tasks. A very handy trick here is to not use PDFs but markdown files, because PDFs use 3 times as much tokens to read than markdown files. So on a recurring basis, especially if your project context files are really long, you'll be saving a lot of tokens if you use TXT or markdowns instead of PDFs. Then write a short system prompt. If you go on the top right, you see something called instructions. That's where you write who you are, what you do, and how you want Claude to respond. This is nothing but universal instructions that Claude reads every time you open a new chat within that project. So if there are things that you want Claude to do, certain instructions that should apply to every chat in the project, that's where they need to go. Using just those 2 things will transform your Claude or ChatGPT significantly, making you orders of magnitude more productive. Hack number 3. Connectors. In Claude, if you click the plus button inside any chat, you'll see connectors for various applications. You'll see that I already have a lot of them enabled. Now, you can actually go and manage connectors. If you click this button, you see hundreds of options that are available to you. Some connectors that I find incredibly useful are 1, the calendar connection, where I can connect my Google Calendar and chat with my AI about meetings that I have attended and meetings that I have in the future. This makes planning my day and week extremely easy. The second is meeting notes. If you use a note taker like Granola, Fathom, or Fireflies, you can actually connect it using an MCP to Claude and simply ask what happened in the past meeting and never have to remember things again. I personally use Granola because it can record not just me on Google meetings, but also WhatsApp calls and Slack huddles that I take on my computer, meaning I never have to leave my Claude in order to know what's happening within my projects. And third is Asana. If you use a to-do list app like Notion or Asana, you can automatically update it using an MCP. So all you need to do after a meeting is to ask Claude to give you a summary of what all happened, what all the next to-do action items are, and add them to your list on Asana or Notion without lifting a single finger. Now, it may not be perfect, but it makes a big difference. And the last one is GitHub. You can connect your GitHub to Claude and basically chat with your entire code base or make changes within the terminal or within the Claude app itself. The list goes on, but hopefully you get the idea. Hack number 4 is file creation. Claude can create files in real time. Now, this doesn't work on the Claude web app. You need the desktop app or Claude Code on your terminal, but you can create actual files on your local PC directly from Claude. I see a lot of people creating something in Claude, then copying the Word document, pasting it into a file, and then saving it. You don't have to do any of that. So here I have my Claude open and I am in the co-working tab. Now what I've done is I have already set Claude onto a specific folder for this video. If I go to my Finder, you'll see that this is the folder that we'll be using. Now I'm going to tell Claude, please make a txt file which says hello world. And when I press enter, and if I go to my Finder, and if I click on this folder, we'll see the file being created in real time. So now the file has been created. So now what I'm going to do is, can you please save this file within the folder that you're working on right now? And when we go to Finder, we should have the file created. And the file is right there. We have the hello world txt file. So we are going to do a real-time tutorial here. I am going to ask Claude to, can you please make me a document about the top 10 AI news headlines in the world right now. Keep it to a single page. And now Claude is gonna create the document for me, and you will see on the right that I already have in my connectors, I already have my Google Drive enabled. So when it creates the document, all I have to do is review it, click on one button, and it's directly going to save it onto my Google Drive. And we have the output. It has given me the top 10 headlines. All I have to do is quickly edit and share it with whoever I want. Okay, the next hack is about data visualization. Imagine you have something that you want to visualize. Maybe it's a table, maybe it's a CSV file. All you have to do is paste it into your chat or copy the table from somewhere else, or you can even describe the numbers. Regardless of what the data is, all you have to say is visualize this on Claude, and it's going to give you an interactive visualization right there in the chat. You can ask it to swap chart types, you can ask it to add variables, update it, and everything gets updated live. For anyone who spends 20 minutes in Excel making a chart for a weekly meeting, this is the golden replacement. It's instant, interactive, and Claude will figure out the right chart type for your data. The next hack is called branching. If you use Claude regularly, you know that it's really bad at reversing into a conversation. So if you want to go back to a few prompts earlier to a major change that happened, best of luck, because Claude is just very bad at reversing. But there is a solution. On Claude, you can go to any prompt and click on the edit icon. You can add your prompt and press enter, and that's going to branch out the conversation at that point, meaning you can now see the output of both those branches. You can also do this on Claude Code using the command /branch. Now, I like how ChatGPT does this better because it creates a new chat for each branch. That to me is a better way to go about it from like an interaction standpoint, but you do have it in Claude as well. This is basically Git, but for your conversation. It works on the Claude web app and Claude Code and the normal app. And it's especially useful when you're not sure which direction is right and you just want to explore multiple things simultaneously. Now, the next set of hacks are all about Claude Code, starting with hack 7, which is /init. Now, this is for those of you who, like me, are too lazy to write a Claude.md file for a new project. What you can do is open any project in Claude Code, type /init, and Claude is going to scan your entire code base, folders, files, architectures, and auto-generates a Claude.md file. Now that is a permanent briefing document. Every future session loads it automatically. By the way, we have a great video on Claude.md that you can watch, linked above. But your stack, your conventions, your key files, Claude will already know all of it without you having to explicitly tell it. This also works for new projects. So if you're starting a new project from scratch, you can just type /init and describe what you're building, and Claude is going to write the Claude.md file for you. And every time Claude makes a mistake, all you have to say is update the Claude.md file so you don't do that again. And over time, you literally train Claude on how you work. On number 8, we have the /status line. Now, I personally get very excited with any kind of dashboard or numbers. So this one is my personal favorite. Open Claude Code and type /status line and tell Claude what you want to see at the bottom of your terminal. Your model, your context percentage, session cost, whatever that it is that you want to see throughout using your session. Claude will generate a small script that runs live. It's almost like a mini dashboard on every session. This matters because context rot is invisible until it's too late. Say you're at 85% context and Claude starts getting sloppy. You still don't know why because you don't know that context has been used up so much. This dashboard makes your context usage more visible. so you know when to compact your context before it becomes a problem. There's in fact a lot of things that you can add, which I won't be covering, but you can just ask your Claude Code what all options you have. You can also ask it to recommend to you what would be the best options for you and your specific use case. The next hack is called /rename. Every Claude Code session is automatically saved on your computer. The problem is that all have random meaningless names by default, so it's very difficult to identify them. If you type /rename, you can actually give your session a real name. Within any session, you can just type /rename and add your name, and it will save that session with that name so you can always find it later. Another tip is to use an app like Cursor or CMux that the name shows up on the sidebar for you to find while using multiple sessions. Then when you come back the next day, you can launch Claude Code with the continue command, and it picks up your last session exactly where you left off. It's the same context, the same conversation, the same everything. Or you could use the resume command with a session ID to jump directly to a specific past session. For any project that spans more than a day, this is how you stop re-explaining yourself every single morning. Now, let me show you how the rename command works. Now, quick tip before we get into that is, instead of using the terminal for Claude Code, if you use something like Cursor or CMux like me, you'll actually be able to see all of your sessions on the left here. When I type /rename, you also see within your terminal what the command is about. Now I can rename this to whatever I want. And here I'm just going to say second brain conversation. And you see right here, the conversation got renamed. So now when I go back to it at a later point, I'll know exactly what the conversation was. I can add dates to it, I can version control it. So now it becomes so much easier for me to go back and check within my memory if I want to continue a conversation from the past. Now, hack number 10 is memory and the hash prefix. If you go to your Claude Code and type /memory, Claude will open your cross-session memory files. Now, this is the place where Claude stores what it knows about you across all projects and sessions. Now, most people have no idea that this even exists. You can read it, edit it, and add what you always want Claude to remember, and you can remove what you don't. And while you're mid-conversation, if you type a hash symbol at the start of any message, you can save that to memory without breaking the flow. If you type hash always prefer TypeScript over JavaScript, Claude will always remember that. Now, this is permanent across every future session. The fastest way to teach Claude something new without stopping what you're doing. Now, hack 11 is @@ file name. If you write 2 @ and then add a file name, you can refer to any file within your directory. Now, this is a lot better than asking Claude to read a certain file, because Claude will spend a lot of tokens searching through the index of files and folders to find that file. Instead of that, you can simply write the path name after 2 @ and it's just going to directly get to that file. It's faster, cleaner, and honestly, it keeps your context very tight, and especially useful when you already know what file is relevant and don't want Claude exploring your entire code base. Now, hack 12 is the code review ultra hack. Now, if you write /code review and take an effort level, either low, medium, or high, or ultra high, you can get Claude to review your code. Now, Ultra is the one that's really worth knowing about because it spins up multiple agents in the cloud doing parallel passes of your code. A full multi-agent review from different angles, all doing it parallelly. Now, you can also pass the -- comment command, and it's going to post its findings in line comments directly on your GitHub PR. If you pass the -- fix command, it's going to apply the fixes itself. Run this before anything goes to production. It's the review that you would want from a senior engineer, available on demand in under a minute. Now, it's of course not perfect, but it's a great lifesaver if you're really in a crunch. Hack 13. Rewind. Now, this is one of my favorite hacks. If you have your Claude Code open, hit escape twice and type /rewind. Now, you can choose where in the conversation you want to go back to. It also asks you how you'd like to proceed from that point in terms of context. Do you want to summarize it, or do you just want to take it as is? My favorite part is that it puts that exact prompt back in the chat. So if you made a mistake, this is a great way to go back and edit that same prompt. Now, you can do branching in the Claude web app, but it's not really possible on Claude Code, at least the same way as it is on web app, and this is a great way to do that. This is also a great way to stop your Claude from hallucinating, because the /rewind removes the wrong turn entirely. We already know that Claude isn't great at reversing, so if you just go back and start from the previous milestone, that's just so much better. Hack 14 is about looping and scheduling. If you type /loop, you can run multiple tests that give you certain outputs in certain durations. You can ask Claude to run a prompt every 5 minutes and report back to you. So you can walk away, work on something else, and Claude keeps on monitoring whatever it is that you want to monitor. This runs while your session is open. Now, /schedule takes it a step further. /schedule creates a cloud agent on a cron schedule. Your laptop can be completely off, but you can still make a daily PR summary, a nightly test run, a weekly dependency audit. The work continues to happen. Hack 15. This is the permissions hack, and a little risky. Claude Code asks for your approval every time it does something that you haven't pre-authorized it. It's safe by default, but it interrupts you constantly. There are 3 ways to deal with this. First is /permissions. You can type it anytime to see exactly what Claude can and cannot do. You can update it from within the session. You can whitelist the tools that you trust, and you can blacklist the ones that you don't. Second is Shift+Tab. This you would have seen on your Claude Code already. It toggles the auto accept mode. Claude just runs. There's no permission prompts on every tool call. Dramatically faster for the work that you trust. The third is -- dangerously skip permissions when launching. This is for CI pipelines and automation with no humans in the loop. The name is honestly very straightforward. Only use it in controlled environments where you have already decided what's running. 3 levels, use the right one for your situation. So there you go, 15 hacks, 6 for your browser and the remaining for Claude Code in your terminal. Let us know if you find any of these helpful in your daily workflows, or if you use different ones yourself. Like, share and subscribe, and if you like this video, you should probably check out this one.